at high noon on Wednesday, the 9th of August, the week after the independence celebrations. Thank you for joining us on The Bridge 99 FM for the public eye. I'm Ronald Thwaites. The Honorable Pernell Childs Sr. is a co-host of this program. It's been going for years. Today is a conversation between us both on the affairs of the nation. It'll clue you in anywhere you are in the world as to events taking place in Jamaica. The good things, the things that we need to improve, but more than anything else, deepening the concern, the love, the cherish for this wonderful nation that we're all a part of. You weren't born here, you don't have any Jamaican ancestors, we're happy to adopt you, you know. So we're open. That's the gift that we have to offer to the rest of the world. Our talents, our concerns, our frank thoughts, and the vivacity of our way of life. So join us. The numbers on the WhatsApp are 876-551-5782. And on the studio line, it's 876-676-4996. And you can download the mobile app. That's The Bridge 99 from the Android Play Store and the Apple Store. The Bridge 99 FM. That's what we are. And we call ourselves Unity Radio because despite all of the differences of this very bright and feisty people called Jamaicans, we have a concern and a love that transcends all of those and make sure that we are doing what it is, saying what we can for the betterment of our people. No selfishness here, no self-obsession. We know we're good and we know where we fall short. And some of those things are going to be the grist of our conversation today. Call us if you will. We'll be happy to share with you. Mr. Childs, how you enjoyed your independence celebration, sir?
Well, I must confess to you that I stayed home.
Yes.
And enjoyed from home.
Yeah.
I was frightened. I was surprised when the television broadcast what was that, a stadium. I've never seen so many people.
Yes. And
then I heard that the arena was also full. And then I heard that hundreds of people had to be turned back at the gate.
Yes. What does that say to you?
It says to me that we are concerned about the people. We are concerned about their happiness. We are concerned as to whether they are thinking about their independence. Whatever brings them out, there is something that is good for them.
Okay, I agree with you. It's very good for us to come together to celebrate.
Yes.
But we'll always come together to celebrate or to observe, participate in a spectacle.
Yes, but a spectacle sometimes is good for the soul.
Yes.
And I tell you why. If people are staying home, quarreling.
Yes. No, it's good.
Yeah, my father would call it jollification.
Okay.
I said some jollification. People were happy. People without any label.
Yes.
Color, class, or politics. They were there in their thousands.
How many? How did you have you heard how the tickets for that Grand Gala were distributed?
No, no. I think it must have followed the past. You know.
I hope so.
I would hope that it wasn't politically distributed.
That's my hope too. But
well, if that was so, then you have a problem.
Really?
In other words, if some people were kept out because of their party.
No, I think that it is always good to have these things, but and certainly the verb of the spectacle, elements of which I too saw from home, are very important. The concerns I have is that all. I am anxious that we enjoy ourselves after we have produced, after we have engaged, not in place of it.
Well, to be honest with you, I think that the atmosphere of...
Yeah. Better than before, better than if not.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's Jamaica and Jamaicans. And I didn't see any finger of fist.
There was no discord, which is important.
I think it was a good breakup, and I want to congratulate the minister.
The minister is an impresario. She's an excellent impresario.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and for definition, an impresario is a person who conceives and is able to produce and bring together people who are able to have an event like that.
Yes.
Yes, and that's a very, very important skill.
Yes.
And I believe professionally that was her background.
Professionally, because
Yes. And she brought that to the
I think that the
ministry.
musicians are also magnetically
Magnetic.
attracted to her.
Yes.
In other, nobody can really call them and get them to go. Well, I don't know if nobody can, but she has been able
Yes.
to.
It's a very costly event too, though.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Yes, and
I would be willing to contribute to that cost.
really,
It exhibited to me. I said, but wait, people came out even one night together,
yes,
happy.
yeah. No, I don't want
There
to
was
be.
no stone flinging, no battle flinging, no cussing, no
No,
politics.
they're very important. I'm sure there was plenty of politics, but never mind. That's inevitable in that space. The Romans, in the decline of the Roman Empire,
Yes.
yes, Edward Gibbon, the great historian of the decline of the Roman Empire,
Yes.
spoke that the rulers of Rome gave the people bread and circus.
Yes.
We give them circus. Do we give them bread?
We give them circus, we didn't give them bread. Yeah, but those people I see out there, they look like they
No,
want
this
bread.
is it. No, they
They
were.
want something.
Yeah, what do they
They
want?
want bun and cheese. No. They were properly dressed.
Uh-huh.
They were happy.
Yes. No,
They were together.
We mustn't take away from
I
that.
don't think you could put any political party could put one set of people like that. Thousands and thousands and thousands had to go back.
No, people were anxious for an outing and for an occasion to celebrate their independence or to celebrate the festival. Now, that to me is extremely important.
I
What is-
call the word the festival.
Yes.
Now, was it the independence or the festival that you think attracted most people?
You know what I like? And I've heard Minister Grange say this, is that, or tell of the penetration of the Festival Commission and the Social Development Commission from months before August morning
Yes.
into the depths of communities, like where you came from,
Yes.
and everywhere, drawing out the talent in the schoolroom, in the community center, and elevating the best of that. That's very important. Jamaicans are an expressive people, and we love to see and be part of, and actually we join with others as being the creators of these important efforts. And when you think of it, people don't have many other opportunities for expression, do they? So culminating in a grand gala
Yes.
or in a merry-go-round is good.
Yes.
It's good, and it must be done. I just wish that we were as good in many other fields as we are in that.
Well, let's go a little further because we had two other good things that happened.
Yeah.
There was the football and
Yes.
the basketball.
The netball.
The netball
Yeah.
and the basket
And netball and the football,
Yeah.
which I wanted to talk to you about too.
Yes.
What you felt about those the sporting events?
I think it was very good. The first we have gotten on the podium for the basketball
Netball,
and the netball, and the first we have gotten in the
the
round of
Sunshine
16.
Girls and the women.
And we only lose it by one.
Indeed. Now look, first of all, it's the women who did it. And the women are turning out to be as adept, if not better sports persons than some of the men. And that's a good pickup for people who should be able to express themselves in these ways, irrespective of their gender, eh?
Well, if you're putting cricket was going on at the same time.
I'm adding cricket.
And that's all men.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And-
it's all women
That's all-
too.
Yes. But
So this is good. This is a big change. 30 years ago, that wouldn't have been so. And so when we're speaking to our diaspora audience, we ought to say, hey, look at this. Jamaica is standing up alongside the rest of the world. Its women are doing as well, indeed, better in many respects than our men. And we're good to all the world.
I think that we also have to recognize the diaspora the
Contribution, sure.
Not just a financial contribution.
Yes.
I saw something.
The
The moral,
supportive, emotional correspondence.
the supportive.
Indeed.
I saw people in South Africa with the drummers.
Yeah, indeed. Associating with Jamaica. Yes, and linking up with us. Inestimable. You can't buy that kind of support publicity.
No.
But then,
And we don't want to inject anything that will cause any division or lower the standard.
no.
Like if it's 1 day, it's 1 day plenty for me.
Yeah. But then
Happy day for me.
my concern is that we must be careful of monetizing sport. Sport involves a lot of money to prepare and to produce teams and support them. Huh? Okay, and certainly plenty of kudos must go to Cedella Marley and others associated with her for the Reggae Girls. All right, and the Sunshine Girls have their levels of support, although not as ample apparently. You know my concerns, huh? That while we, as a country and as well-endowed individuals, must support our sportsmen and sportswomen, there is creeping into world sports, not creeping in, it is deluging world sports, and it's creeping into local sports, that people go into the sports to make money. No, there is nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing illegal about that. But what it does, and what we, the elders, have to warn against, is the commercializing of sport to the extent that it reduces the social lessons character of sportsmanship, sportswomanship. What does Mr. Childs have to say?
Well, you have made 2 points there which seem to be contradictory. It takes money to present sports, and you have to give the sports personnel some money. You don't expect the clothing, the traveling.
No, I expect that. I don't want them to expect them to out of pocket.
Weeks and weeks that they spend training.
Sure, they have to earn in order to live.
They have to earn.
But look at what's happening on the world stage, Pernell, with the Saudi Arabians, where the Saudi Arabians have no limit to the budget for their footballers.
Okay.
They're trying to buy international attention, pedigree, kudos.
Yes.
A repressive regime,
Yes.
a regime that has money at the expense of the poverty of the rest of the world because of their oil
Yes.
that we have to buy, or we choose to buy, all of that. And what is happening is that sport is losing its sporting nature. It is becoming a gladiators contest.
Well, look at the opposite. We don't have the money, but we have the sports.
No,
So, what we are selling it. Listen. Our girls are making money, you know.
yes.
Our guys, when they go, everything that happens around the world as a sport, Jamaica grab it, and it's upfront and involved.
All right.
And making money from it.
Sure, but hold
professionally.
on. Okay, but you're a grandfather, and so am I.
Yes.
Our grandchildren, who we send out to play sports, we may choose a school that we think is a good sports school. Yes. What are we teaching them? This is this is an avenue for enrichment, much as if you wanted to be a professional trade union or a trade unionist or a professional lawyer or farmer or engineer.
Well, hold on now. Let's move from sports to other professions.
Right.
Lawyer, doctor,
Indian chief,
teacher,
yes.
whatever it is. What are you teaching them? That they are to become that, to go and work free?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying that
Are they supposed to be looking that, listen, this profession will make you make some money?
Yes. So,
and it's just part of the inspiration of going.
And sport is is of the same nature?
Well, sports, when you go to Macedonia and you hear that there's a boy up there, man, that boy can run.
No, that's fine.
And then Wolmer's hear about him.
When he loses a race,
and
what
they
happens?
send somebody up there and say, listen, I hear a guy up there, him don't have no shoes, him don't live in no high clothes, and him don't really have a book. But if we take him and put him in school, we can get him to had to our football team. What is wrong with that?
I don't like that. I think that everybody should have that opportunity, not just the one who is ahead of who can run and hasn't got any shoes. I think that
Randy, is not everybody wants an opportunity, you know.
No.
Because let me tell you something. I was never ever at the top of my class. I was never even I was just about the middle.
Yes.
You know, I'm a C student, right? Many of my A class students are still in the country.
So,
Why? Why?
what made the difference? You could don't
You
tell
know what
me
made the difference?
don't tell me you're a baller.
You want me to tell you that?
What?
My mother and my father say, you nurse here, you know.
Yeah.
Study. Because you have to go to Kingston and get a good job. And then when I reach Kingston,
No, but
I
then-
say, I'm not staying at Kingston, I go into school.
But then that adds to another subject I wanted to raise.
Parents.
Clearly, but sport is to foster healthy competition. Yes, the virtues of winning and losing. Sports that is played where you get money for your prowess alone, that becomes a dominant factor. In my view, ceases to be sport in the sense that is good to build your character.
Yeah, but Ronnie, let's repeat what you have just said. Sports to make money mean you must work hard to win.
I don't believe the winning at all costs
But
is
you
good.
can't
You know.
make, if you don't win, you can't make no money. If you're not a winner, if you're a loser,
No.
you're not going to make money.
What is interesting in your reasoning is that you are equating sports with any other capacity, any other element of success. I don't.
Well, hold on. Let's take the top runners that we have in Jamaica today. I don't think they'll be good teachers. I don't think they'll be good doctors.
Think of
But
people who you know.
Teachers and doctors not making the kind of money they make
Yes.
when they run
Yeah,
and come.
Well, if indeed the complete ethos or the highest ethos is how much money you make, well, I agree with you, but I don't think that is the case.
All right, let's
people
say-
like Dr. Wint, people like Herb McKinley, people like Mr. Roden, that early team. Yes, what men of character, what men of distinction, what men of good competition they were.
Ronnie, they had started. But let's take Bolt. Bolt was in Trelawney. And I remember the Saturday evening, you know, when they bust up the thing at that stadium. And PJ Patterson said something that keep your eye on this guy, and we're going to try and help him. Look where Bolt went.
Well, this is good. This is
You heard it. I gave you the joke with me and Bolt.
no.
Oh, I went to Canada as a minister, and they putting on a dinner for me. And there were like 4 or 5 organizations together, and so they had to speak before they invited me to speak. So the 5 leaders got up, and they all started because Bolt had just won the race.
Okay. Yes.
And it was Bolt,
whole way.
Bolt, for the 5 of them.
Yes.
So they asked me now to speak. I say, on behalf of Bolt, the place mash up.
Mash up. No
I
place.
say, on behalf of Bolt, I want to thank you.
Your
for
entire
the message."
pedigree was
But the
because of
truth
your
is that, to
association.
get back to the point is, even in that capacity,
Hey, you can't buy sportsmanship, Colonel Charles.
no, sportsmanship is different from sports.
Oh, what? Oh, really? You can have sports without sportsmanship?
Yeah, you have a lot of. Well, let's switch from sport to music. Musicians, real musicians that we love, that can produce good music. Some of them not making money. What the musician that we think should not be in music is making.
Yes.
Because of the culture and the people in which we're
You see,
living.
I really rate sportsmanship. I really rate the spiritual and emotional capacity to engage with another or with others in a venture which brings out the best of character, which accepts the talent of others, which is gracious in winning and humble in winning and gracious in losing. Yes,
But can't you have all of that and make some money?
if you can. But when I see people who are frankly sell their soul in order to be able to play for this team or to go to that school, yes, I'm not in favor of that.
Well, I can't support you on that.
Uh-huh.
If I am in Macedonia
Yeah.
and
You're
my
back.
parents can't buy me shoes,
Yeah.
can't help
So-
me
so
to
the-
get on the team in Kingston,
Uh-huh.
and you come and identify
So
me.
these guys now who go around and who recruit the boys or
Yes,
the girls
identify them,
from
recruit them.
Macedonia, okay, and then send them to let's say my school, St. George's College, okay.
Yeah.
What happens to the boys who are already at St. George's College who would try hard, want to be on the team, but can't make a team because all the boys from Macedonia or from Guyana or from St. Kitts or from Ghana have been brought in? That's
Well,
okay. That's okay.
The boys from Macedonia didn't make themselves, you know.
Uh-huh.
The guys from Kingston,
Yes.
if they were interested and were properly organized, they'd be running and they're way above the guy from Macedonia.
Look here.
Because it's just a running take.
You know, one of the things that this society has to learn if we're really going to be a peaceful people and a cooperative people is that winning is not the only objective in life.
That's right.
Winning.
I'm not going along with you, know.
No? I don't think you would. This is the problem.
Hold on.
This is the philosophy of the political party. Absence of philosophy. The anti-philosophy.
But let's examine it.
Yes.
You say winning is not the what?
Winning is not the be-all and end-all of life.
Well, why do you go in it?
Why do you go in it?
Well, yes, to lose.
No, but to compete to the best of your ability.
Why do you compete?
You compete in
To
order
win.
Winning is good, but winning is not the be all. What we have.
Let us stick
Hello,
with what
sir.
you said earlier.
No, and I'm repeating it. What we have in Jamaica now is a culture where your kudos, your capacity, sometimes even your national honors, and I'm really not talking about you. I'm not throwing any word. I wouldn't do that, and you wouldn't deserve an iota of it. But even national honors, yes, you know, yes, are craved on the basis of I must win, I must be the top.
Well, I will agree with you that if you move away from in any of the professions or in any of the system that we're talking about, there's some contamination
if
there.
If winning is at all costs, is the objective of life, yes, forget about ethics.
No, but I don't want you to add me to saying winning at all costs, because you can win by being dishonest.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can
you see, I
be a winner and
be quite ethical. You're right.
Exactly.
I'm pushing for Jamaica in its 62nd year of independence to explicitly and intentionally and intensely adopt a philosophy of the common good. Yes, that everything I do, including what is in my personal life, must contribute to, or in any event, it must not detract from the benefit of others.
It sounds good the way you say it. But put it in a practical way and tell me. Put it in a practical way and tell me.
It must sound more than good. It must be that which we teach our children. And if we teach our children that your worth,
I look at guys listening to you.
Your
now.
worth.
You tell me.
Yes.
Tell him what you're saying.
your worth is that you must win all the time, always be in front, and that you therefore comport your life not in proper consideration for the benefit of others. Yes?
So you're saying that he should not be fighting to win all the time?
No, he must fight to do his best.
But that his best is to win.
No. Well, I think we're probably reached a point where we're splitting hairs and being semantic.
We are.
Okay.
But
No,
I want to make one
it's a
point.
serious mood, you know.
I want to make one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all of us should try to win.
Mm-hmm.
And win with a standard that all has an opportunity to go out.
Do we do that if you were asked to describe your country?
In none of what we are doing in Jamaica.
Yeah. Is that the case?
Beyond Jamaica.
So look at it now.
Beyond Jamaica.
Of course, beyond Jamaica. From entirely different starting points, we're coming to a consensus, because I believe what you just said. Yes, and I am saying that the very texture of our effort in Jamaica, too often, not always, yes, too often, yes, is for personal get ahead. And to hell if that means that others can't get through. I feel a problem. You can't run a healthy society like that.
One of the things that bothers me,
economically, politically,
is that the winner is enjoying his winning position by allowing the others to lose.
Yes. But doesn't that describe the political system that we have, Mr. Charles?
That's what I'm trying to get you there.
Doesn't it?
And in doing that, a large portion of the population is hurt.
The majority.
And cannot go in the winning line.
Precisely.
Not because they are not professionally capable.
Yeah.
But there are other
so let me tell you my thing now.
Yes.
You see, go back to your image of the little fast runner from Macedonia.
Yes.
Okay, we don't have any shoes.
Yes.
I don't want him to have to be plucked out and brought to this or that school so he can help to win champs.
So him go and get the shoes.
No, we want everybody to have the shoes.
Yeah. Of course I want to.
No. If you do it where we are satisfied and say it's okay, where we just pluck out the exceptions.
Reverend,
yes?
you want everybody to go to heaven.
Oh, no, of course.
And you are working for them to go to heaven.
No, what else? What else does Jesus' life mean?
But tell me now, are you going to get everybody to go to heaven?
Well,
that is your objective.
Hello, that is the objective. Yes. And the moment I concede that I go and go, and you're not going to go. Yes, that is the history of repression and oppression in this world.
Every day you get up to preach on the platform. Every day you get up and look at the audience in the church. There are some sinners who you're praying for to bring them into line.
The fortune is that I don't make the decision as to who is going to be redeemed.
No. I'm
or
not
rather,
saying
I know everybody is redeemed. Who is going to?
You pray for those who don't need the prayer because they are doing well. And you pray for those who are not doing well to do well. So therefore, you recognize.
Let's bring it back before we take the break. You know the problem with Jamaica 61, for me,
yes,
is that we condone mediocrity. We have accepted, yes, that we have.
Give me an example of what you mean.
Of course, in education, we accept that there will some who will fly high, and the majority will stay barely literate. And boy, we can't do better. Or that is, Jesus said, the poor you will have always with you. Or we soon come and make things good for everybody. But in the meanwhile, shut your mouth. Yes, that mediocrity, that unrealized potential of this country is its greatest opportunity as well as its greatest reproach.
Right, let me hit you with one. You said Jesus had 12 disciples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are very few of us in Jamaica or the world who know any more than Peter, James, and John.
Mm-hmm. So?
I don't know 8, 9, and 10. Why? But tell me why. Why do I know Peter, James, and John?
Well, because they were foremost.
They were foremost. So how did they get to be foremost?
Foremost on the because
they were selected,
and they performed. Presumably,
yes.
though Peter was the worst of them. Peter denied him 3 times.
Yes.
Okay. And James and John wanted a fight as to who should sit at the right hand.
Yes, so maybe like how you're a pastor, you will know them, but all I know of the 12 of them is
no matter
Peter,
what you know.
James, and John. They were up front, top guys, and in Jesus 12.
Okay, what I'm trying to get across to you is that we have to keep an objective, which is entirely possible in my view.
Yes.
Always first in our mind. I don't like winners and losers. Yes? But what I want is for everybody to have the opportunity to flourish. When we come back from the break, let us see if we can extend this discussion then to take into account something that happened this week that would have struck Mr. Charles, certainly struck me, and that was the intervention by former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, who spoke about the increasing coarseness and incivility of particularly the leaders in this country. How did we get that way? What's the origin of it? And how do we begin to correct it? And isn't it not connected with this notion that my responsibility is to push up myself as quickly as and as conclusively as possible, and to hell with the rest of you. Therefore, I
It's not
can
only
tell
PG,
you
know.
anything.
You read that Andrew has also made a presentation similar to
You'll
that.
tell me about that, I'm sure.
Yes.
This is the Public Eye on the Bridge, 99 FM, the talking chop of Jamaica, Unity Radio. Soon come. Thanks very much for being with us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM, broadcasting to the diaspora, talking to people all over the world who have the Jamaican spirit. That's what we want to encourage. Looking at every aspect of our life in the nation over the past week, the very well known and confidently expected Emancipendence weekend.
We spoke about the basketball and the footballers.
Well, you keep
But we
calling it
didn't-
basketball. It's netball.
Netball, sorry,
Yes.
but we didn't congratulate them.
Yeah.
So you know,
We should.
Yes.
Absolutely. They did so well, and their approach to it was in every sense a pride to themselves and to Jamaica.
Well, I don't know if you watched this or you've been informed that the diaspora
Yeah.
gave the kind of overseas support to
Yes.
them
So I heard.
wherever they were,
And we-
not only financially,
Right.
but they were there with the drums and the passion
Indeed.
and the flags.
Excellent. So we
So
stay.
Jamaica,
Yeah, but so hold on then. So that there is an enduring identity and pride surrounding this little island, this little nation.
yes,
Right. Now, I want us to so understand that and regard that we will take it into every aspect of our effort and life, so that it's no longer going to be a we and them, but rather it is going to be something where we feel congealed, we feel connected in a common struggle, a struggle to be the best nation that we possibly can be.
I
To
am not.
realize that unrealized potential of this country.
So that I am not identified as opposing that.
And you couldn't.
I will say I wish it can happen.
Yes. And
But deep down in my heart,
and any system and any individual action which takes away from that, yes, we must put aside us.
but as a trade unionist, Ronnie, I will tell you, I went into it for that.
Of course
and,
you did.
And I have helped.
And you would never have been able to put up with some of the struggles that you've been through if you didn't have that spirit.
And the support
Yes?
that I got from them.
Clearly. No, look
Right
at that.
across the board.
But then that is it. Because it is in that coming together, that partnership, that let me use the word, that comradeship, yes, that makes life worthwhile. In my ministry, I come across so many desperately lonely and deprived wealthy people. They have a whole heap of money, but they do not have the relationships, the texture of human connection, the love that they give and therefore receive. Oh my! What is the use of the bank book?
I have said this to somebody already, you know,
Yeah.
that there are some people with money and they are so ill that if they could give you all the money
Yeah.
and get all the health that you have,
Yeah.
they'd be happy to do so.
Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was that. Man had more money, one of the richest men in the world, and lying down in his bed and saying, "What the hell? What has this done to me? I've had everything, it can't help me."
Can't.
Yes, and what I crave for is relationship, love. What I crave for is a texture of friendship, of solidarity, of common cause. That's what we must teach our children to live for, Mr. Charles.
And
not winning at all costs.
Yeah, but look,
Playing on the team.
there are people listening to us right across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Canada, United States, and Britain probably the strongest. They have looked back to Jamaica, not only to family. They look back to communities.
Of course.
They look back to parish.
But then-
our friend from Canada,
Yes.
about Westmoreland.
But this is why I am so much against, one of the reasons, only one, but a big reason why I'm so against what the bauxite industry has done to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yes, because what it has done is to wreck the communities of people like where you come from, sir. You can't go back and find those people. We've scraped off all the topsoil and left it, even if you push it back, and the people can't live there, and therefore they all migrate. And they're going. They may make more money where they go, but you break the textures of relationships, of family, of community, which you yourself are acknowledging.
It's unfortunate that I have to support a point that
Oh
you
my.
made earlier. And I said unfortunate because I remember that I went back to St. Ann.
Yeah.
And the whole community
gone.
had gone out over there. I said some in Trelawney, some in the other side of St.
Some in
Ann.
Toronto.
And in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yes.
They're separated. And it reminds me
For what?
that when the slave trade,
Yes,
when
sir.
they landed in Kingston,
Carry them everywhere. Bus up family.
the man from Portland who wants some to buy,
Yeah.
the man from St. Ann wants some to buy,
sure.
and they pick.
Yeah.
So they pick
Sure.
a brother
Yeah.
gone to Trelawney,
And
a
mash
father
up,
gone
mash
to...
up family.
I know.
And then you wonder why Jamaica's social
But hold on.
order is so,
Hold on.
so
Let's go
fragile.
let's go a little further.
Yeah. And what we do now?
Years after that, man who went to Portland
Yeah.
came over to St. Ann and see a nice girl.
Yeah.
And marry her.
Yeah.
Happened to be what? Her sister?
Yes. Well,
or her cousin?
look at that now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
understand?
Mash up.
That's the kind of thing that I am saying
This is another-
destroys our nation.
Yes, but we must be careful, because you are so right. We must be careful to not use a pretext to cause it to happen again. You're taking the discussion wider than I wanted, than the direction I still want us to go in. But when there's an argument about garrisons, these self-enclosed communities,
Yes.
the late Edward P.G. Siaga would make a point which I agreed with. Yes, that you can talk all about the political wrongs of garrison. Yes, but one of the things that garrison meant with the communities, Talk Street, Tivoli, Denham Town, Tel Aviv, Southside, yes, Greenwich Farm, all those. They were communities. They were people. There were places where people could gather, where they made families, where they had connections, where they knew who to turn to, where they knew what was good, what was bad. Yes, those are very important things, you know. When you curse them and make Uptown and the government and the police think of these areas and these people as somehow nefarious, and what you must do is go bulldoze them down. Yes, you are outraging some things that you cannot reconstruct anywhere else.
Could I tell you something that I don't think know if you know, because you were uptown. I was downtown.
When we go downtown too.
You came downtown and find some things. Many of the gangs during those days, I don't know now,
Yes,
came about for the protection of communities.
of course, sir. I know that.
Yeah. You couldn't go into Tivoli
And you're not defending
in
crime.
Southside, Borough Boy.
No, you're not defending
they were-
crime. What you're doing is looking at a sociological factor which has to be taken into account within the context of how you view people. But if you consider people in binary terms of good and bad, and usually because one color is good and the next one is bad, or one color have money and the other one doesn't, then you are going to make this kind of mistake, and we are still doing it. We are still doing it, Mr. Charles, and this is what is so wrong. So when
The politics was supposed to
transcend all of that,
move the division
yes,
and
sir.
unite it.
Yes, sir. And has it done so?
And it
No.
has not.
No.
And it's not going to do so long as the competition
Well, this
is
is it.
there for you to show how bad you are,
Yeah.
how good I am,
Yeah.
how bad
Yeah.
how good I am,
Yeah.
so come to me.
Yeah.
How bad he
Yeah.
is, so leave him.
So?
and it becomes the
So?
war
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
it's a fisting.
Oh. So you know who my heroes of the independence were?
Oh.
I wrote about them. Hugh Small introduced me by a little video to a young couple from the hinterland of St. Mary. Young girl, looked like she's in her late 20s. Simple. And her guy, her partner, similarly no ears at all. And we have 3 little children, you see? 3 little infant children. Walk with them everywhere. And them seem to have one little rickety old deportee vehicle. Chancy with it, but never mind. But you know what, sir? Every day since the Haitians reach Robbins Bay, where they're keeping them, yes, the Haitians we've been talking about, every day they make the move from where they live up in the mountains down there to do what? To volunteer, Mr. Charles, to volunteer to cook and to feed them. God in heaven.
But
Them, hello, sir? Them supposed to get OJ as much as good man like you,
But
and somebody not so good
but
man.
I tell you something.
Yeah, that is
I tell you
that is
something.
raw goodness.
Those are not the people who want OJ, you know.
No,
Because for them, OJ come from up top.
exactly.
Now, there was a news item this morning
Yes,
which say that the government
yes, sir.
is awaiting.
I heard it. I heard it.
I thought
They're
about
waiting
you.
the asylum papers.
Yes.
What a long time they're waiting. But never
Which-
mind. Okay, it's better than the other.
Better than what we thought might have happened.
Precisely. So we give credit as much as it's due.
And I also saw it in the paper last week that one of the fear
Yeah.
is that a ship with 5 million or 5,000 or 500 might land.
Yes.
How do we handle it?
Uh-huh.
I said, they haven't landed yet.
No, and then that's
And there are international organizations set to do that,
well.
to
Okay.
that protection and that distribution, that help.
We're going to talk about migration too, because there's a real issue. But you see, even before going on to why there is this skein of coarseness and bad talking and some really nasty denigration that we have had to put up with in the past over the holidays, I wanted to say something to you. You know, over the period where we had a couple of days where we could rock back a little, I am so proud and glad to be a Jamaican. You and I could never have the opportunity to do what we are doing. And I've exercised it in through journalism and you in every other respect for the past 50, 60 years. Yes? If we lived in Haiti, if we lived in El Salvador, if we lived in Nicaragua, if we lived in Cuba, we couldn't do it, you know, sir.
Why?
No, the public policy governments we would be dead or in prison.
Well, you called two words that are sure. The policy of the government,
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
would have separated us.
Yeah.
You would be a military situation.
Yeah.
What we call democracy and courtesy and can live it.
Yes, yes.
Right? They don't start to taste
No,
that yet.
and that is why when any of our leaders of whatever political stripe, yes,
To do it,
start
to
to
hurt
talk,
it.
yeah, man, start to talk about the Charter of Rights, maybe too restrictive, etc. Yes, immediately, I say you can't be in charge of me.
No, that you have to go a little further. Immediately, you have to identify it
Yes.
so that those who are looking at it will reject it,
Yes, well, I'm
wherever it is coming from.
absolutely, but Jamaica,
And years ago, we identified that, that the system that separates us, for its system to survive, it has to separate and attract certain part of it.
and just so we say it again, any system, any move, any law, no matter what the Constitution say you can do in one day or not. Yes, any system that is going to cause a man like you to be locked up for months and months without being brought before a court to test an allegation against you is wrong, should never happen, and must never happen again.
And, well, you have to go a little further, Any system that does anybody, not just me,
Anybody, I agree with you.
at any level,
At any level.
political,
So
educational, commercial,
So you
any
can-
system.
you can
And
cross
there
us-
are too many of us who
Yes.
don't have an opportunity to be heard,
Yes, quite so.
who are dragged in
Yeah.
quietly.
Yeah,
And
and forgotten.
one man can spend 8 years
Oh
waiting,
my God, waiting
in
on a
court.
transcript.
But hold on, Ronnie. You know that if that had happened in a political system,
Yeah.
they would have gotten to us.
Yeah,
It happened in a legal system.
it did. It did.
And you want to tell me that hundreds of
Yeah.
lawyers
Yeah, we dress
in
up
Jamaica,
dress up in wig and gown, and
nobody know that
learned
those
from
people-
all them kind of thing, and that a go on.
and somebody told me that don't fool yourself, there are many more there.
There are, unfortunately, just like
But guess what? They don't have the money.
the mentally ill people. Yes,
They don't have the money to pay.
Thank God for those who are trying hard to ensure that those wrongs are righted.
Just to give you one, I saw Food for the Poor. I haven't seen them this year.
Yeah.
But every
Every
year,
Easter.
they generally go
and pay for the
and
fines.
pay. So, in other words, there are some people down there with a $5,000
Yeah,
fine
yeah,
who
yeah.
can't come out.
No.
and the rest of us gone to bed quietly.
Gone, yes. So this is why let's square the argument now. This is why looking at this lawyer, Mr. Buchanan, who has been the subject of controversy.
Yes.
I've had some admiration for him because he, to the best of my knowledge, has been careful of those injustices and used his legal talent to redress many of them, people who couldn't afford, who needed representation, etc. Yes, I used to do that work many years ago, but this is something I noticed about him and others. And therefore I was intensely disappointed when he lowered himself to go and curse out Miss Llewellyn, the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Well, let me ask you a question right there. I don't say we are entitled to, but are there any of us who will not make a mistake?
No.
And is there something that say if a mistake is made, all of us must go on like we never make a mistake, I will never make a mistake?
No, and therefore...
And therefore wipe out that?
No, and therefore let me really pause and thank you for that. Because the amount of time, and you'll tell me again what your mother said, my mouth fly, or I do something, and immediately or soon thereafter regretted it and say I'm sorry, yes, or was pushed by others to say I'm sorry. So let who is without sin cast that first stone. Yes, and whether it is Mr. Buchanan or it is another person who you know well or whatever it is, for God's sake, can't we be compassionate and relenting?
No, because it does not support what you're heading for. So if Mr. Buchanan problem detracts from the PNP, that the JLP have to go after him because the JLP need the support.
Well, you see, I go after him because what he did was inherently wrong.
Yeah, but Ronnie,
no,
Ronnie,
you're
there
correct.
are some smaller things that are inherently wrong.
Absolutely, but it's not to say that you're not saying that you should slide over these things, but to use that in order to completely negate all the good that a character can do is wrong.
Ronnie, listen to me. It's not only at that level, you know. There are some teachers who don't make any noise, who full up them yard at night time with some backward picnic.
True.
And push them forward.
True.
And none of us hear about that.
No, but those are my Jamaicans I want to see, feel, that I want to recognize. And recognize in what sense? I want to say, listen to me, this is the kind of person who I wish I could be.
And those people don't want no OG.
No.
You know what they want?
Yeah.
If you could help them pay the light bill so they can turn off the kitchen lamp.
Quite so, sir.
And put on a bulb.
Quite so, sir. And that is the spirit. That is the spirit of the same couple I'm telling you about in St. Mary. They're not looking at anything. They're just glad to be good. Yeah, and that we must do.
Well, I want to tell the couple in St. Mary that there's a man named Ronnie Twait, and I have joined him to say, if you need us to contribute, I hear a man say, Mr. Charles, why do they have to call you? Why don't you go? Hold on, look a bit now, brother. Hold on.
It's not necessary.
We all, they must know that there are many of us
who are willing to help,
who are ready and willing to help.
Yeah. And there's another last point I want to make on that one.
Yeah.
When you think of their little children that they carry with them, what lessons are they learning?
Same thing that I told you.
Yes, your mama.
Mama used to say. Same thing.
Yes.
Because it makes me, and I'm going to tell you the story probably off here one day.
Yes.
Right? Of an old lady that I saw on the road. I was riding a bicycle. And I stopped to pick up this old lady because she was almost could be run over.
Couldn't manage.
And when I got her, she said, Lord says hungry.
Aye.
And I walked to the shop across the road, Mr. Wild's shop. And Mr. Wild's a lady outside in the road, dying for hungry. But I don't have any money. You can't help me. I said, Mr. Charles, I don't have time, you know. I said, can I buy chop and bone and something and give her and carry the money. Come and say, no. I said, I take out the eagle dollar.
Yeah.
You know, the silver eagle American dollar.
Yes, sir.
That my uncle gave me when he came from farm work and said, you must hold it for life or you will lucky.
Yes.
And I carried it all my life.
Yeah.
And I said to Mr. Wise, all I had is this eagle.
Uh-huh.
And if you hold it and give me the chopper sort of thing, I'll carry the chopper and come again. And same of that time right there, if I want to change it, I can't change it. And when I look and see the lady, you know, I said, Mr. Wiles, I'm going to change it.
Yes.
And I changed it and take my 7 shillings.
Yes.
And buy the bone and give the woman. And I was giving the woman 6 months. She said, no. She said, it's all right. The food is all right.
Yeah.
The woman didn't.
No.
So I rode and distributed my things in Mandeville. And was coming back. No bus passed me. Taxi might have passed me. She didn't have me take taxi. And I go back to where I live for eating. There was no lady. And I look west. I look west. I look
everywhere.
Nobody. So somebody go home to tell Mama about it. Mama laugh and said, I said, why you laugh, Mama? She said, well, you know, the Lord work in a mysterious way. You may have served an angel. Blessing will come to you.
You see that now? And you know the other thing that struck me?
It came in a
Of course it did. Of course it did. You live it.
You better believe it.
And look at that now, the $1 silver dollar, you could have get 7 shillings out of it.
Yes.
No.
No, 7 shillings for one American.
Yeah, it used to be.
Well, yes,
Yeah, you remember that? And then
Yeah,
go to 4 shilling.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Look what happened to us now. What a thing. Aye. But sir, so we're talking about goodness. We're talking about the real values of to live in Jamaican society. And I was happy in one sense, but also embarrassed in another, that as mature and a person as former Prime Minister Patterson had to come out and tell us leaders, yes, to tell our people, look, no, want to stop the nonsense because you are digging your own graves.
Well, I read it. I fully agree. He has started this in long ago, you know, remember from the
I will laugh after him. I remember Wilmot Perkins laugh after him.
when he talk about the
Values and attitudes. Yes.
And I noticed that the President Prime Minister, I want to leave him out, he has also followed him with a similar presentation. In other words, to tell him, behave yourself and live above the standard that we are doing now.
You know, first of all, let me congratulate the Honourable Andrew Holness for saying those things. But let me also encourage the Honourable Andrew Holness that he would be far more credible and valuable to himself and to all of us. Yes, if he were to if what we would see is the action now and not the words. How can he when he as the leader allows and doesn't set the tone for some of his own members and others outside on the in this self-respect and respect for others that is critical. Yes, that is the key. No, I mean, we don't need to go into the details and remember who said what, because we can liberally spread the blame, and some of it going to catch me, certainly. I don't know about you. But for God's sake, we need the statements, we need the encouragement, yes? And we're right to note where the 2 instances of it have come from this week. But we need to see the concrete action now, you know.
I'm going to tell you something that I shouldn't normally tell you in the ear. But I'm going to take the opportunity of saying to you.
Whisper me now.
Andrew Holness
You're not going to tell nobody.
Has a problem. Not in the PNP alone. Are you following me?
Yes.
Andrew Holness is under pressure, not in the PNP alone.
So, you know the details. I don't.
Okay. But I want you to, you get the feeling what I'm driving
I
at?
do, and therefore I want to support him in the good things that he's doing.
PG Patterson is free today to say exactly what he has said,
Yes.
which he's been saying in a different way a long time.
Quite so.
But because of what he is and where he is now, he can say it.
Yeah, nobody can trouble him.
Exactly. And nobody can take away him crown.
No.
And him not fighting for no crown.
No, but the
And him
crown.
not leading no crowd for the crown.
No, yeah, but you see the crown now, we're going to break. But the crown, and we'll come back and talk about this. The crown must be in standing up for what is right and good. Not on what some officer.
So are you trying to tell me
else.
that what is right and good sometimes is not what is good, what is winning and losing?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying. And that is exactly what my co-host, the Honorable Colonel Charles O.J. Rockstone Laborite, agrees with me on. This is a public eye on the Bridge 99 FM. When we come back, there's more talk. And Vincent Morrison, the veteran trade unionist, is going to talk to us about the situation of the security guards. You got to stay tuned, soon come. 10 minutes after 1 on Wednesday afternoon here in Jamaica. It's warm. In fact, it's hot. And the weather report says that it probably won't be till the weekend where we get the kind of rain that may, in fact, relieve the very high temperatures. A heat wave, such as we have not seen or felt in Jamaica for the longest
We
while.
have not seen it in our lifetime.
No, I mean, I live in the mountains on the eastern side, and it's really, really warm. I'm sure you have the same experience in the west.
Let me tell you something. I have a fish tank, and I wanted to get some water. And I saw the black clouds coming across, and everything is saying rain, rain, rain. So I spent a little time and put up my thing. Because I'm running inside because it's almost falling. By the time the rain reached the black clouds, come across Constant Spring and coming, the sun burned out all the black cloud, the cloud turned back white, not a water.
Poor fishes, and even then you wonder how they're going to manage. Values and attitudes is what we've been talking about. I mean, it's everything. The Jamaicans, we are fun-loving people, but there is this concert that I see advertised, and people tell me about. Some gentleman named Mr. Chris Brown, who's coming to Jamaica at the end of the month, and you are invited to pay all doubloon a joint. I don't want to quote the figures. Enough US dollars for this man to come and see this man. Are we a party nation?
What is he coming to do?
Must he come sing?
Well, if you like his singing and you have money, go and pay.
Oh yes, when people.
As far as I'm concerned, I can sing.
Yes.
I can hear all kind of singing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if I...
No, it's a look here.
Hold on.
Free.
Just let me disturb you. Go to Miami, where our footballer man from Argentina...
Yes.
What's his name?
Messi.
You know how much they sell one ticket right or sold out?
How much?
Something like 150... Well, what the thousands are. Sold out.
Yeah. So what does that say to you? I mean, all that is nice and legal, but is it when you look at the values you want to live by, when you look at the priorities that you use the wealth, the earth is the Lord's. Huh? You believe that, I believe that. Yes. When you look at the way we do these things, what is it good for?
Yeah, but you have to also look at the other way around it.
What is
if
that?
people are in a position to cook 2 meals or to eat at the best restaurants, why should they eat where we eat?
For 2 reasons.
I mean, why?
One, because...
To show that they are like me?
No, not to show. To make sure that the extra that they have is available for those who have nothing. Because it is a reproach to my sufficiency if somebody else is insufficient. I believe in what the Acts of the Apostles say, Those who gathered much had no excess. And those who gathered little had no lack.
Yeah, but where I cannot agree with you.
The system of this
I
world.
have. And I must, because my friend don't have, I must not exercise what I have.
No, you're perfectly right to exercise, but you're perfectly legal for you to exercise. And but
what about morality that you're talking about?
There are extremes. Look here. What do we have in Jamaica? Finance Minister and Prime Minister state very clearly, more economic activities going on, less unemployment, at least on the surface, all of these things. We have plenty net international reserves. We have the dollar's been stable for a little while, albeit we're propping it up. Okay, all true. Yes? But what do we have? We have increasing inequality in Jamaica. No doubt about that. We have increasing inequality. What is the point?
Let me challenge you.
Yeah.
Let me challenge you about inequality.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that there are many things that cause inequalities.
Of course.
Where you were born,
Yeah.
how you were brought up.
Yeah. But none of those issues have a full stop after them.
No, but they don't have a full stop, but they have a push that must be established behind them. Who do the pushing? Some people sit down, not pushing.
Clearly.
And want me who pushing to wait for them.
I'm not defending that. There's a sense of entitlement.
But you're defending that, you're not defending that.
The notion that is in many people's minds that those people who are lacking are the children of Ham. And that's it's truly, it used to be associated with black people. Yes? If you read the history as I do, and you do, is that the notion was that these people are lazy, they're feckless, and therefore they deserve to be in the barracks and in the kitchen, in the scullery, rather than at high table. We must stop doing that. We must recognize the beauty and the purpose and the nobility of our entire humanity, all of it. Yes, that is what makes a difference. Not just my posing up myself and preening myself and thinking that because I can earn $35 million a year that somehow I've achieved. You haven't achieved a damn thing. To whom more is given, more is responsible.
But there is an achievement there.
Of course. So
if you get a good education,
the question is, what do you do with it?
You get a good profession,
sir.
You get a good job, and you have a good earning. Yeah, those are four things.
Yes. The question is, what do you do with it? What did you do with it?
Well, share it. Transmit it to others.
Right. Make sure that and I'm being very personal intentionally, make sure that you raise your children in a way that they understand that despite their capacity to do otherwise, they have a responsibility to give back.
Well,
look at that. Even to their peril and to their distress sometimes. That is the way we all must live.
Yeah, but I've been warning them not to overdo it because at different times.
No. Well, but the principle is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The question that I'm asking my revered co-host today and asking the diaspora, anybody listening to this, what are the principles that we are going to move? When you're 62 years of age, you're a big person now, you know. What are the principles that we're going to govern our life with, that we're going to set up our structures or change up or reinforce our institutions to promote? Yes, whether it is in sport, whether it is in culture, whether it is in economic structures, all of these make a huge difference.
Yeah, but Ronnie, do you really believe we can start again?
Yes.
Do you really believe the system will allow us to start?
I believe that
you think the people who are above will allow to stop and distribute from below to come up?
It's not a question of distributing, you know. That's only a minor part of it. That was what the whole owner used to beat down Michael Manley. What it is to offer parity of opportunity. And I am looking on this 9th day of August 2023 that in a month's time, almost to the day, we're going to reopen school again. Yes?
What?
Reopen school.
Yeah.
And we are setting our children, each made in the image and likeness of God.
You know, it's as if you were part of our discussion 2 days ago, you know, with me.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is difficult for a number of children right across Jamaica, it is still better,
of course,
today than it were 10, 15 years ago.
Of course. So what does that say to us? Not to be complacent and say, see, look how far down the track we're gone. But to show what our potential is. This country has the potential to do what America can do, which is to ensure that our children have a greater modicum of equal opportunity or of commensurate opportunity. And therefore, I worry and feel inadequate, that after whatever efforts you make, and we should still be having virtual apartheid in education. It is beneath us. We don't need to do that. We have other things we can do, better things that we can do. But before you make the point, we cannot do it if we are constantly at each other's throats.
I was in St. Thomas yesterday, and I met a lady with two beautiful children.
Really?
And I said to her, "Are these yours?" She said, "Yes." I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
And I said, "Which is older?" She showed me. And I said, "Can I speak to them?" She said, "Yes." And I moved them away. One was 15 and one was 16 or 17.
Uh-huh.
But I said, beautiful. I said, and they told me which high school they were.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to talk to you like a father.
Uh-huh.
Because girls need to know what men can offer or should not offer out there, and what can push them forward or stop them.
Yeah.
My girls cannot complain because I tell them plain how it go.
Yeah.
And I talk to the girls.
Yeah. You did a good thing.
And hold on now. The mother stand up and she's learning too. And I said, Mommy, you must keep talking to them.
Yeah.
And you must scold them with love.
Yes.
In other words, don't take iron, chop them in them forehead, don't cut off them fingernail, don't pop off it. Scold them with love, but scolding you must. And she smile and look at them.
Yeah.
And she walk out. And I said, well, hold on now. What about the father? You know the father? The father is a man who stand up right there.
Excellent. I was going to ask the same
And
question.
hold on. So they gone in there and said, you hear all I was saying to your daughter? And you say, Mr. Charles, you don't know me. You said that to me when I was a boy.
Oh, my Lord. Look at that.
You helped
No, but
me.
this is virtue.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that is wonderful.
You give me some exercise book to go to school.
Yeah.
But I never talk to my girl the way you're talking.
Yeah.
And I'm going home, no, go talk to them.
Good news, good news. Really strong. Vincent Morrison, greetings.
Greetings, Boss Ron. Greetings to my friend beside you, the great Colonel Charles.
Well, indeed, I share that. Thank you so much, Vincent Morrison, General Secretary of UK's Veteran Trade Unionist. Vin, I've been anxious to trespass on your time because I have a concern in my heart about the security guards.
Yes.
Let's tell our listeners, many of whom are abroad, that the security guards have been it's a growing profession in Jamaica, and for most of them, for years, decades in fact, they have been working on short-term contracts with no benefits, no social security, no leave, no pension, nothing. And what's it now? Over a year ago, the matter was taken to court, and that which people like Vincent Morrison knew and had proposed very well, Colonel Charles as well, that these people were employees according to law, not contracted officers, short-term contracted officers, was the judgment of the court. Since then, I'm asking you. Have they got their justice, or have they, those who employ them on behalf of the rest of us, have they circumvented the judgment of the court, the unappealed judgment of the court, which is now the law, and are they still in a situation of vulnerability, and if so, why so?
Okay, so let me tell you that they have not appealed the judgment of the court. What they have done, they have circumvented the judgment of the court. As you rightly point out, the security guards were not employees in September 2022 when Justice Bass made the announcement regarding the National Housing Trust matter. Judges, as you know, don't make the law. They more or less interpret the law. So the security guards were employees long before that. In fact, if the private security regulation describes the security guards as employees and not independent contractors. But the Parliament in 2002, and I'm almost sure that Purnell was in the House at the time, passed, amended the Labour Relations and Industrial Dispute Act to define employees, to define a worker. And what the law says is that from once you're controlled, supervised, disciplined, you're not part of the business, as Justice Matt says, etc., then you are an employee. So the security companies, they have been getting away with this for a long time, treating the guards as independent contractors, having them on fixed-term contracts, what have you. The point is that what they did, they tried to, in April of this year, they wrote to the workers and said that they should sign a contract. And in that contract, it states that all your previous arrangement, benefits, etc., have been extinguished. In other words, it's like you're signing a release and they start running. And what it says, the injuries that you had and have in court, are you trying to resolve? The housing trust money that has not been paid over, the NIS money that we didn't pay over on your behalf, all of that gone if you sign the contract. Now what has happened is that...
And if you don't sign the contract?
If you don't sign the contract, you don't get no work.
You go home.
You have two sets of workers now. You have one set, some signed the contract not because they wanted to, but as one lady said to me, if she didn't sign, she was the only breadwinner in the house.
Yes.
If she didn't sign,
yes,
she wouldn't have no food to get a picnic.
Yes.
She couldn't go to school.
Yes.
Another group have refused to sign and have not signed up to this point.
Yes.
And they have not been allowed. They turn up for work. They have not given any work. So we can only regard that as they are being laid off because there's nothing from the company dismissing them.
Yes.
But we want to go a little further. We have retained the services of a law firm. The firm has filed a fixed date contract in the courts.
Fixed date claim.
Fixed date, yeah, claim, yes. And we are now waiting the outcome of that. In fact, I go a little further to say on the 20th, 20, of this month, we'll be having a massive meeting at 20 West Kings House Road, the UK's office, to bring the security guards up to date as to what we are doing in terms of legal action.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we can only refer to a letter that came out of the ministry that went to the security company, which states, I am to remind you that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has always regarded your security officers as bona fide workers under the existing labour laws of Jamaica. Accordingly, any new arrangement being contemplated will have to accommodate outstanding vacation leave due and earned prior to the above mentioned date, as well as applicable redundancy payment if the continuous guard's employment will be broken. In other words, that letter was sent to the company. I have no evidence, but that letter was not acted upon either by the company or the Ministry of Labour.
Right.
I don't know if that letter was withdrawn, but as far as I'm concerned, the information in that letter dated March 20th, 2023, to the Managing Director of Marksman Limited is the correct thing.
Right. So, Mr. Morrison, first of all, before Mr. Charles comes in, first of all, I want to really commend you because you have taken up that struggle on behalf of the officers in a unique way. And that is to your credit and to your raises, if it needed raising, it could be raised, your pedigree as a defender of justice in this country. And I say, after saying that, sir, because what is clear from the situation you have described is that certain interests in this country, supported or certainly not rebutted or prevented by government, have decided that the law is not a shackle. that they are going to do exactly what they please, and they are going to prey upon the vulnerability of the security workers and decide, say that, boy, the court can say whatever it is. I'm going to do this, or else go home and forget me. Sue me, and it'll take 5-10 years and $2 million in order to bring your claim, and see if you can eat in the meanwhile. That is the raw truth. That is the injustice that is being sponsored in this country, Mr. Morrison. Tell me if I'm wrong, Mr. Charles.
I couldn't put it better than you, Ronnie, because you're a lawyer.
Well,
you're a public figure. You have worked with poor people, rich people, and everybody, and you understand what these workers are going through.
So don't tell me about the rule of law in this country. What I'm seeing right now is the rule of law being flouted and being accepted as normative. And with the greatest of respect, whichever government is in power, the government is in fact allowing this to happen, allowing the law to be broken. They have no moral standing.
Ronnie, let me ask Vin, what part of the law is being broken at this time? What has been instructed by the courts that the management are not following?
The amendment to the Labor Relations Industrial Dispute Act 2002, I think it was March 2002. That law defines who's a worker. So the security guards are not independent contractors. They are workers, employees. But the PSRA, the Private Security Regulation Authority Act, also defines the guards as employees and not independent contractors.
But where are you going all there for? The judgment of the Supreme Court, which has not been appealed and therefore stands, states that these workers are employed persons, not contractors. Absolutely. And therefore, it is wrong for you to go around the back way and say, listen, court can say whatever they want to say. But if you want to work, you must sign a paper that goes entirely contrary to what the court says. In fact, worse than that, it says that you don't have any basis for any action in the past, because anyway you sue the company for whatever it is, yes, they hold up the paper and say, see there, you have denied your own capacity to be here, and we consider that to be justice.
No, but let me ask.
Colonel knows very well that when one company changed from, when Alcan changed Solo to Glencore, and then Glencore to UC Rusal Aluminum Jamaica Limited, we know two things can happen. It's either you transfer the service of the workers, where they will continue with their service without an infringement to their services. The years of service, their benefits, etc., will continue. And that is the Labor Relations and Industrial Dispute Act. Or if you decide, look, I'm not going to take on these workers, so the owners will have to pay them off, and I will then offer them a contract to start with my firm at whatever terms and conditions that I want them to start at. These are well-established norms across the country in terms of industrial relations. As I quote Alcan, and there are many other companies that have changed hands, and you either take over the service of the workers and the benefits and all that happens, or you pay them off and you employ them as fresh new employees. This is a well-established arrangement.
Bearing no argument, whatever. Mr. Pernell, what do you think?
No, I'm worried. And I am different from you in this situation.
Oh.
Because the workers are still not represented. They don't. Hold on.
They don't have to be represented.
Hold on. The construction workers had to be represented. When Norman Manley and Buster
Joint Industrial Council.
Just hope. There's a council. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
When Buster was in detention, Norman Manley took over the legal aspect and presentation for the working class of this country. And when Parliament
so what are you
came on, they took several things to Parliament that benefit the workers.
So what are we saying now? That these people are in the condition
No,
they are because they're not represented?
We are saying no, that they are not represented.
They can't be.
Why?
Because if they're represented, more of them would never get a day's work.
Ronnie, people have gone through worse than what you're talking about and are today top of the class representation.
Even if you are right, how can you justify the going behind a court decision in the way that the contracts that these people have been given?
I don't know that is happening.
No, but Lord have mercy.
No.
Why?
No, tell me one item that the court has instructed that they're not following.
The court has said that these workers are employees.
But they are.
No, they have been asked to sign a contract which vitiates the conditions of any employed person according to law.
Then, help me and Ronnie, help me here. Tell me one item that today's workers government.
Under the contract, they're getting any pension. Under the contract, they're getting any sick leave. Under the contract, they're getting housing trust and social security. Take out of the money.
Go ahead.
Gone for already.
Oh, okay. Now, Vin, is that so?
Yes. Furnace.
I am asking Ronnie that because I have something to say to you. That the same thing had happened to construction workers. They get no vacation. They get no sick leave.
Don't bring construction workers.
They have no quarterly or monthly or weekly increase.
How construction workers come into this, sir?
Because they set up a council that review their benefits every 2 years.
So we are one of those?
That is what we need.
Why doesn't the minister?
But Vin tried it.
Why doesn't the Minister of Labour take the responsibility, which can only be his, of establishing a joint industrial council for the security industry?
Is that so, Vin?
Well, we have been asking for that from your
No. Ronnie has said that the minister. Ronnie has said that the government can set up an industrial council.
Of course it can. Who's going to tell them we can't do it?
Master Ron.
Yes, sir.
If you give me permission, sir, I'll read a letter that will tackle the matter, and I know
Go ahead.
the Minister of Labour. He can discuss that letter with his technocrats.
Uh-huh.
The letter is dated March 20, 2023. Re-implementation of new work arrangements, and it's addressed to the Managing Director of Marksman Limited. I've directed to formally bring to your attention that a number of your industrial security guards have been regularly visiting the ministry over the past few weeks in order to make inquiries and to lodge complaints in respect of directives issued by the management of Marksman Limited that the terms and conditions of the employment shall undergo a change with effect from April the 1st, 2023. I am to remind you that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has always regarded your security officers as bona fide workers under the existing labour laws of Jamaica. Accordingly, any new arrangement being contemplated would have to accommodate outstanding vacation leave due and earned prior to the above mentioned dates, as well as applicable redundancy payment if the continuity of the guard's employment will be broken. The Ministry welcomes meaningful dialogue with you regarding the matter and anticipates your relevant soonest comments. Now, your son is now the new Minister of Furnace, and you are one of the icons of the trade union movement who have delved into this matter, as I've just read. Over and over, somebody must be able to come to the fore and protect the poor security guards. The security guards don't have money to go to court, you know.
When, as a senior trade unionist,
the court issue that we are taking up.
As a senior trade unionist,
our own pocket.
I would like.
Nothing the Confederation is enjoining us in this.
Hold on, Vin. Hold on.
Want to sell out the people.
Vin, hold on a second. I want you and I.
Is being ignored.
I want you and I to meet. Because unless a council legally is set up to carry the weight for these thousands of workers with hundreds of employers around the country, the present organization of trade unions who become members and representation is not going to work. You have to get a legal council that has the authority to adjudicate on behalf of all the workers.
The court adjudicate already for the security guards.
The court has not adjudicated about representation.
No, not about representation.
But
sorry, Vin. No. The court has given a judgment that these people are workers.
Yes.
And that the term worker and the engagement of a worker involves certain things under Jamaican law. And what has happened is that they have been told, listen, court can tell you anything you want. Yes? I am going to present you with an option. Either you sign a contract to say whatever the court said don't apply to you, past, present, or future. Yes. Otherwise, you go home. That cannot be just. That cannot. Hugh Shearer, Michael Manley, Lascelles, Beckford, Tossie Kelly, all of them. Yes. Lloyd Goodley, Carlisle Dunkley will turn in their graves that this should be the case, and it is a running sore, which is why I call Vin Morrison.
But you're talking about the dead. These guys who are alive is the one you should be talking about.
Well,
Vincent Morrison.
Well, Vin is the only one who is setting up the Joint Confederation Trade Union. You should be ashamed of themselves.
But let me hold on, Vin, hold on, because I'm not going to make one sit here and tread on Shearer and Michael and Buster and Norman.
I'm elevating them.
No. The point is this, that they have set the stage.
Hey, those contracts are illegal.
No. For those who are here now to carry on, and they are not carrying on.
Yeah.
Where else you think you could have thousands of workers?
Yeah. No, but tell me about these particular ones. So
But
you support the contracts that they've given away their rights.
There are thousands of workers in the industry.
So?
Thousands of them.
So
and what are doing? They're doing nothing.
No, what do you mean? I don't. The one must do what?
Those of us who have gone on.
They go to the Ministry of
sacrifice.
Sir, they go to the Ministry of Labour. The Ministry of Labour writes the letter that Vin Morrison has read to us in just now, and the response is what? Listen to me. Listen to me.
Ronnie.
No, I mean,
where is it in Jamaica has the workers ever got anything without getting up off of them behind and working?
So what you're doing
never. They have to be leadership and work to get it.
What you're doing is placing the blame, the responsibility for the injustice on the very ones who are being so prejudiced.
Where else in Jamaica has they ever gotten it?
You know,
How did you get
hold on,
medical field, and all of that?
No, that is the argument that many of the missionaries used to use against the slaves, you know, that the slaves are connivers in their own enslavement. I can't buy that,
Randy,
Mr. Charles.
Why are you touching that part of my head?
Because that is valid history. Is a tendency of the ruling class to do that.
I am saying to you and Vin.
Vin Morrison not going to leave penalty, you know.
knows how to do it to get the workers organized separately or get an institution to work for them. The employer is not going to work for them. They find every way to fire them one.
And what is the role of government?
The role of government has been established. You go to Parliament. You
the role of government. The role of government.
You ask me a question.
The leaders are spitting at government.
You ask me a question.
Sorry.
You ask me a question.
Yeah.
It has happened before.
Yeah.
And you go to Parliament. You bring
go to court. Go to Parliament.
Yes. And they pass laws so that you have working time.
Sure. And they long out your tongue. They long out their tongue at you.
You have all of these benefits comes through the Parliament.
Yeah.
Right? The present situation requires leadership
Well, certainly not coming from government. I had a motion asking for a joint security council, joint industrial council, and a review of the security industries for years in Parliament, Vin,
And running.
and never get a chance.
And may I congratulate you? No. May I congratulate you to have even been able to see further than some of our senior trade unionists, including me.
But it never.
Hold on.
They go,
If right now, if you
Yes.
don't go right what you have just said,
Yes.
they will be there until them die one.
what a thing! And then when judgment come, what you gonna say? What we are gonna say?
They didn't get up off of them
And then
behind and do what they had to
we're
do.
going to say we're going to sing
Ronnie.
teach us true
Ronnie.
respect for all. Oh
Ronnie.
my God. Yes, sir.
Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
Permit me to quote from a letter dated June the 26th, 2001, to a security guard by the name of Mr. Michael Chambers, coming from a company called Dual Security Limited. It says, "Dear Mr. Chambers, Dual Security Limited and Marksman Limited will be merged as one entity to be known as Marksman Limited. The merger will take effect on July the 1st, 2001. We hereby confirm that your employment will continue with Marksman Limited under the same terms and conditions as prevail with Dual Security Limited. Your years of service will be treated as unbroken. To indicate your agreement to the foregoing, please sign and return the attached copy of this letter under private and confidential cover at your earliest convenience to the undersigned. Kind regard, yours sincerely, Dual Security Limited, Major Philip Campbell, Managing Director." This is June 26, 2001.
That's how it's to go.
That is how it goes. Your years of service will be treated as unbroken.
Yeah.
So moving from Marksman to make a serve.
So why no?
Right to the workers now and say they must sign a new contract that will extinguish. That's what it
Extinguish.
says,
Yeah.
It will extinguish.
I agree. You've read it to us more than once today again. No, but this is why do we, while we are clapping hands and having a lovely time at independence, why do we contemplate and connive in obvious arrant injustice? Yes. My God, man.
Randy, you have not been there. I have been there for 41 years.
I bow
and
to
I am
you.
trying to tell you this.
Yes, sir.
That unless the workers
Yes, sir.
are prepared to follow their leaders or get proper leadership,
Yes.
the employer will never,
Yeah. Why?
never. And even when the court give the directive.
So the employer.
If it, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
I am telling you, all that we are enjoying today, holiday with pay, baby and all of this.
Them now go get it.
Why?
Because
No. That is a law.
but they're not go get it. You can say it's a law with all of the intensity that and the pedigree that you have, sir. But these people who signed that contract and who they are told because I wouldn't sign it, them not get nothing. Them not get nothing. And if ever,
But if that comes before you in a court,
yeah.
that the law says that you must get holiday with pay,
Sir,
and if you're going to have a baby, you must get.
they show you the paper where you sign that say you're extinguishing all those rights.
No.
But how you think?
No.
If
Ignorance of the law does not.
I would argue.
justify no law.
No. I would argue, Vin Morrison, that a person cannot opt out of a legal right. But the fact is that is the intention, and you know, and I know that it is almost impossible for them to bring the case before the law. You are trying, as you pointed, with a fixed date claim, but that is likely to take years and years to be resolved. And in the meanwhile, nobody now will get nothing more than what they've signed up in the base pay for the contract.
Randy, they've been doing it for
Vin, are you there?
for decades.
Is
Randy,
that
and
we cannot allow a precedent.
you know that I am vexed. I am vexed with them because you and I have tried for more than 2 years to get them to just join together so that we can give them like normal working class people of this country. And they fire one another and carry news for another, then carry news from me, then carry news from you.
Yes.
and today they're worse off.
That's what they
and,
did.
And
That's
you
what they-
can talk
that's what they
all you
did.
want to talk, Mr. Ronnie Tweed. You can talk unless the workers decide to unite.
Yes.
Unless you have political leadership
Yes.
that is going to give them a joint
thank you, sir.
industrial council,
Thank you, sir.
and that the council is going to follow the normal
But-
trade
but
union laws of the country.
Just stop
Forget
now.
it.
What prevents? Let's just isolate. What this sounds like the British establishment after Taki's rebellion. But what is to stop the establishment of a joint industrial council?
I
right
don't
now?
know.
Well-
Vin must tell us.
No, but it's not the trade unions who can do it. It's
who?
not the workers who can do it. It's the government.
Vin, I would like you to. I am taking your number and I'm going to call you an hour after I leave here because I will hit the road with you if there's a government, whoever is in there, that
We're not vexed.
government
We're
can
vexed
do
about
what they
that.
have to do. We have to do
Yes,
it.
man. Then isn't that the answer? Every other, my little knowledge of labor relations and history in Jamaica is that the government of the day, the Ministry of Labor, empowers the setting up of a joint industrial council, whether it is in whatever industry, and calls the parties together and says, this is how we're going to manage this industry henceforth.
I mean, you have a letter from the ministry which says no to that.
No, he didn't say that.
What,
No, we don't have, but you know,
what has the government? What is government attitude to what Ronnie has just said?
Nothing. The fact of the matter, come we talk it straight, now, gentlemen, because that's what we do in kindness. The government is beholden to the security providers, one, and they owe them a whole heap of money, that's two, and three, they're very concerned about the economic upset that would undoubtedly take place if, in fact, all the security guards in Jamaica were considered employees and were compensated accordingly. That is the truth. That is the problem.
Why you say that? Why would
No,
that?
because it's a whole heap of more money. It's
But
a
really,
whole heap more
the
money.
government is the largest employer of security
and
guards.
this is the problem.
And you and I pay it.
No, but that is the problem. Still,
So why would they be not wanting the workers to get the benefit?
No, they because it's going to put tremendous pressure upon the government's budget.
So you are recognizing it's going to put pressure on them?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
More pressure than what is on the workers?
But no, the workers, no, clearly not more pressure. The workers are the ones bearing it. No, they always have, and always will, unless some action is taken. Now, what the whole purpose of this discussion, and I'm grateful to you both, I yield to your experience. The whole purpose of this discussion is to say, listen, this shouldn't be. We have law on the side, we have convention on the side, we have history, we have a sense of justice. Fix the thing now. These contracts are wrong. They should never have been allowed to take place. They're illegal contracts. I don't care which lawyer draft them for which company. It's wrong. You're not to treat people this way.
But when you have a joint industrial council for other industries.
So why you not have it for this one, sir?
Because you have a trade union organization, and they're not pushing it.
The trade unions didn't set up the joint industrial council.
Who is
in
it
each
that
case.
the
state must protect the workers.
You were not there when Hugh Shearer, Michael Manley, and the rest of us, when we decided to do what we had to do, the call was made by them that was put together a working thing that would protect the workers. So why can't that happen now?
I don't know, sir.
Well, I'm asking Vin to let us meet
but
after this evening. I'm calling you because
Colonel.
I want to know more.
Colonel,
Yes.
I'm suggesting you call the former colleague at the BICU, Mr. Wesley Nelson. He will tell you what happened in 1988 when the Joint Industrial Council for the Security Guard Industry was dismantled. Mr. Wesley Nelson will give you the history of that. You need to talk to him. And since that time, we have been trying. A committee was set up under Mr. Horace Daly, Mr. George Overton, myself, and Mr. Claude Thompson. You know the late Mr. Claude Thompson of the ministry. We were set up as a committee to revive the Joint Industrial Council for the Security Guard Industry. We met we put the constitution together, and when we were supposed to sign the contract, Mr. Overton came to the meeting at the ministry and said, look, the time is not right to sign. And since that, we have been trying to get Mr. Overton and the industry to sit down with us and put the council together without any avail. So the trade union movement, whether quarterly or singly, have tried to do a lot of work. It is time for government to intervene. Government has the powers that if the parties don't want to voluntarily create the Joint Industrial Council, government can go to Parliament, and I'm sure they will get the opposition on this. I don't think there will be any divide on this. To support putting legislation, ministerial legislation to have this sorted out. So it's really a question of where's the will to help some poor people. And I can tell you the security guards, they need help.
What's the joint union is saying?
I fought lawyers to go to the court. They don't have it. They cannot be able to buy food for them families. Right? The guards need help. They need help.
Vin, tell us what is the position of the joint trade union. What is the position of the joint trade union?
Vin wouldn't know, but don't they kick out Vin? I tell you, well, we they won't let Vin come in there.
But put it this way, Vin. If you are kicked out,
oh Lord,
and you don't have the power to be kicked in, you're not going to get anywhere.
No, we're not looking at Vin.
Need more than a council, you know. It is the ear of the Prime Minister and the Minister of Labour.
Oh,
and the leader of the opposition and the spokesman and Labour.
Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to perish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Vincent Morrison, keep on your pressure, sir, and thanks for explaining the situation today. We're going to follow this one with you as long as it takes. Thanks so much.
Please prepare, Vin, that I'm going to call you after this because I need to know more as to what is happening in the trade union movement, that great organization that cannot get government to set up a joint industrial council for the security guards so that they can be benefiting like the construction workers and others.
The trade union movement has not survived the Washington Consensus.
Well, they better find consensus, or else guess what? They're going to slip out 1-1.
Well, but that's exactly the final words before time runs out. The trade union movement is a shadow of what you worked in many years ago, Mr. Pernell Charles, Mr. Vincent Morrison. It's a shadow. It's a pale shadow of what it is. I believe in the principle that workers must lead development. Yes, workers of all kinds. And one could never state that is what we have in Jamaica now.
Is it that we have...
Look at the BPO security industry, the BPO industry, the hotel industry. Yes, the three major elements of employment in this country. Where is the trade unions? Nowhere. And you're going to say that they have achieved.
Who you blame?
Look here.
Who do you blame?
Human justice. Human justice and human dignity, yes, is something that transcends must transcend any particular class, any particular segment.
You think that the hotel workers, the hotel management going to call it to come and organize?
No, I don't.
You think that
and I don't
the BPO workers management...
I don't think... No, because what we've done is to bludgeon people into submission. We have created a situation which we still believe that some are up and some are down. And many of those who are down have accepted their position and therefore they don't see any better to come. All they're looking for is to hold on a little job there until they can get one visa.
I'm going to ask you to believe one little thing I'm going to tell you now.
Before we go,
The workers of this country
yes.
who are benefiting from trade union development
Yes.
and trade union respect brought to them
Yes.
through Parliament,
True.
who are under rougher times
Yes.
than the security guards now.
Okay,
The
well,
security guards
and that I
need to
believe.
get up,
Yes, and they need to
stand up
Yeah.
with good leadership
Yeah.
and face government and employers.
Oh Lord,
Okay.
workers of the world unite. Vin Morrison, blessings to you. Thanks so much.
Listen to you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Good, honourable
I want
President.
to talk to you.
Honourable
And Vin, I'm
President,
going to call you because I may have to help you from behind.
Well, I hope you will. Now that's that on that very very hopeful proposition. We end the public eye on the Bridge 99 today. Well, it's been a varied program. Some very important reflections about our independence and the state of our nation before, and then on this very, very significant issue, which I think gives us a barometer of mutual respect, of workers' rights, and of the possible future of our country. Thank you so much for your company, sir. Thank you to you, Jeff, and to all those.
I promise you in 10 seconds
Yes.
that I am going to do some governmental,
Advocacy.
well, I'm going to ask questions.
Yes, you should.
Because the security guards require,
Yeah.
the law has to protect them.
Yes.
Follow me?
Yes, I agree.
And they have not
You are well-
come forth. They're the largest employee.
You are well placed to do just that, sir. And on
Okay,
that
thank you
score,
very
you see, there's an activist end to the public eye. Check us next Wednesday if you care to on the Bridge 99 FM. Blessings till then.